Officials with the city of Gainesville are cracking down on people taking some of its most ancient artifacts.
Plus, how one local organization is helping to improve school districts one project at a time.
Seeing it happen in real life and that people can make an impact with it, I think is an important lesson.
And the rain outside isn't stopping Gator fans from lining up for the big matchup against Alabama. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
The UF weather radar is showing scattered storms and showers making its way through our area. We're continuing to see a wet weather pattern that'll stick around for most of the week. Taking a live look at I-75 in Paynes Prairie, you can see gloomy skies. We've seen sprinkles of showers in north central Florida on and off today. More showers are expected later this evening. This is First at 5. I'm Bailey Korinek.
And I'm Chris Will. The rain is making for some muggy parts of our day. UF forecaster Julia Haley is tracking those storms to see just how long we can expect to see showers.
Yeah, Chris, the rain is going to stay throughout this evening. If you take a look, we're watching these widespread showers over the Gulf, and they're starting to move eastward. But if we take a peek, you can see those yellow areas. That's where we have some stronger showers popping up near Perry, and also Tallahassee just got some of that rain too. So if we take a look at Florida State University, you can see some of those raindrops on the camera, and it's just staying cloudy throughout the evening, and those clouds are going to last. Our temperatures are staying in the 70s, a little bit cooler though, especially where we see those showers. So you can see 70 for High Springs, 74 Palatka, 75 for Daytona, where it's a little bit drier and also a little bit sunnier. But also temperatures are changing, and that's exactly where we have these showers. Take a look. This is for this evening. We're going to be tracking these showers coming up.
The UF Health System has a new president and CEO, President Ben Sass, named Stephen Motu for the role. In a memo sent out this morning, Dr. Motu will oversee the entire UF Health System's clinical mission. The notice says he served as an executive vice president at Inova Health System in Virginia. That's a nonprofit healthcare provider. The former surgeon has spent more than 20 years in healthcare. He will be overseeing the UF Health Medical Network, which consists of 11 hospitals across the state. Dr. Motu will begin at UF on April 1st.
One person is in the hospital with traumatic injuries after a Marion County fire rescue ambulance crashed into a car this morning. The rescue team involved in the head-on collision called in the accident and requested extra help for the driver of the other car. The driver was trapped in the wreck and had to be pulled out. The firefighters involved in the crash were also transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The crash took place near Southwest Highway 484. Roads were shut down at the time of the accident, but have since been reopened. Florida Highway Patrol is investigating the cause.
Voters across the country and in American Samoa are letting their voices be heard at the ballot box today. Super Tuesday is the biggest election day on the primary calendar. More than a third of all available delegates for both Republicans and Democrats are up for grabs. Former President Trump has won all but one primary so far, but even if Trump were to win every single state today, he would not reach the 1,215 delegates needed to win the nomination, but that could happen as early as next week. Polls will begin closing at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the Florida primary election is just 2 weeks away. If you're interested in early voting, that opens up in just a few days in Alachua County. Early voting will take place between March 8th and 16th. Polls will be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. To find your polling location near you, visit votealachua.gov.
If you were booted from your Facebook or Instagram account this morning, you're not alone. Instagram and Facebook and Threads were down for many users across the globe Tuesday morning. Feeds weren't refreshing and many users couldn't log in. The Meta app stopped loading around 10 a.m. These outages are occurring on the same day as the Super Tuesday presidential primaries, where 16 states will hold their presidential nominations. The disruptions could present a problem for campaigns, which rely heavily on social media to reach voters.
Yes, the outage of Instagram has been really frustrating this morning. I run a DEI account for an organization that I'm part of, and not being able to post our normal content has been just kind of frustrating.
The service disruption follows a major outage in 2021 where Facebook and Instagram were down for more than 6 hours. According to Meta, the technical issue has been resolved and service has been restored to users.
A vacant fire station in Gainesville will be renovated into a homeless shelter. Plans to renovate the abandoned building located on South Main Street are currently underway. $700,000 are being funded from the city to Grace Marketplace. These funds will help Grace to retrofit the building and bring in 20 beds. This will also help to solve the issue of local tent communities. Jacqueline Williams thinks this shelter would not only benefit the homeless, but the surrounding area as well.
Sitting there. What's the problem is you throwing it down there, pick it up, put it in the garbage can.
Grace hopes to start construction soon. This process will take 90 days to complete.
If you're in the Gainesville area and looking for swimming lessons, the city is offering classes throughout April and May. Registration is now open for age groups as low as 3 to 5 years old and those 13 and older. It's $57 for city residents and $70 for non-residents. Classes will run in 4-week sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can register online at the city's website or in person at the Parks and Recreation and Cultural Affairs building. This comes as state lawmakers consider a bill to provide free swim lessons to low-income families. That bill is currently set to be decided on at a later date.
This spring marks college decision season for high school seniors. Alachua County Public Schools students are inching one step closer to chasing their dreams. WFT's Teitel is live outside Eastside High School. Jared, we understand students have already achieved a tremendous feat in their academic careers.
A whopping 34 students across Alachua County Public Schools can proudly call themselves National Merit Finalists. They've achieved some of the highest scores in the nation on the pre-SATs and national qualifying tests, excelling in subject areas such as reading, writing, and math. The students in Alachua County now join the thousands of other high school students across the United States qualifying for up to $2,500 in financial aid. This is a #1 educator in East Gainesville says goes a long way for students in the region's low-income neighborhoods.
And our students do come from all walks of life. So, yes, I believe, the financial help is wonderful.
According to U.S. Census data, the city of Gainesville occupies a poverty rate of about 30%, nearly 19% above the national average. With 7 finalists qualifying for the National Merit Scholarship at Eastside and Gainesville High School, Bucles High School leads the pack in Alachua County with 20 finalists.
We have a rigorous curriculum offering at Bucholtz, and we always have. It's historical to do that. A lot of these kids serve on our national championship math team.
For Eastside senior Madeline Gurka, her lifelong love for dance has led her to a newer interest in the human body. Her aspiration to enter the medical field motivated her to hit the books and work to overcome her struggle with math, a life obstacle she wrote about in her personal essay for the scholarship program.
My obstacle was kind of just asking others for help and leaning on others, kind of similar to how the different body systems work together to create a fully functioning body.
Now, Gurka is just one of the 10% of students at Eastside who qualified as finalists this year. Alachua County Public Schools Communications Director Jackie Johnson says if selected, students can expect to start receiving aid beginning April and May, but some students, she says, can wait as long as July. Reporting live in Gainesville outside Eastside High School, Jared Teitel, WUFT News.
A University of Florida organization beautifies an Alachua County elementary school. Over 600 students from UF's Project Makeover gathered at Alachua Elementary School to enhance its campus. The volunteers painted murals, sidewalks, and landscaped over the span of 3 days. Project Makeover's mission is to create beautiful spaces to enrich the learning environment for students. Alachua Elementary School art teacher Jamie Smith says this makeover shows students how art can be inspiring.
They can do so many more things than just being in the classroom and just being a class you have to take in school, right? So seeing it happen in real life and that people can make an impact with it, I think is an important lesson.
Smith says she's happy the students have a beautiful space to work in. UF's Project Makeover revamps one elementary school every year. When we come back from the break, fossil hunting was outlawed in Alachua County in 2019, but the number of people doing it continues to grow.
We'll tell you why it remains so popular in our area. Make sure to stick around. We're following breaking news out of Marion County where a child was critically hurt after being trapped in an SUV after a crash. It happened at the intersection of Northeast 36th Avenue and Northeast 40th Road in Ocala. These are pictures of the aftermath from MCFR's Facebook page. Fire rescue officials say a total of 3 vehicles were involved when they got on the scene. The child was freed from the wreckage and trauma alerted to a local hospital. The 2 other people involved in the crash were also taken to the hospital. The Florida Highway Patrol is investigating the cause of the crash.
The city of Gainesville has seen an increase in illegal fossil hunting. Experts say social media is to blame.
WUFT's Derrah spoke with local officials about how they're combating this issue and the next steps they plan to take.
Local leaders are cracking down on illegal fossil hunting by taking additional measures to stop further erosion to the city's creek system. Officials tell me that over the past couple of years, the problem has simply gotten out of hand.
And somebody even called the other day asking about the status of their permit, and she said that she had an excursion scheduled. So it's almost like a cruise line sort of operation.
Rachel Narducci oversees the Florida Fossil Permit Program. She's seen an increase in applications.
We used to have multi-user permits, which we would give out to somebody who was planning to take other people out with them, and that hadn't been an issue because it was usually for educational and outreach sort of purposes, but that has become very commercialized.
Those who manage Hogtown Creek's headwaters say fossil hunter sightings used to be rare. In the past year, they've encountered hunters almost daily.
In this city, in this county, in the state of Florida, or possibly anywhere you go, they tell a story. And when people come and pull things from that, they're taking pieces of that story that don't necessarily belong to them.
Experts say social media has a viral effect. Adventurers from across the country either travel solo or join tour groups.
I mean, I've had phone conversations with people from Missouri that want to come to Gainesville because they saw it was a popular place to find shark's teeth.
Many are unaware of the local rules and regulations.
You can't dig anywhere in any of the creeks, but you can collect fossils on private property in the creeks. Any state parks, you're technically not allowed to go into any of the creeks.
City officials say it's important to research the local guidelines surrounding fossil hunting before you visit parks. Recreation and Cultural Affairs staff members plan to post new signage and hold tabling events to educate residents and tourists about the rules. In the newsroom, Derrah, WUFT News.
Let you know when we'll dry out after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
We're staying cloudy, muggy, and warm. Take a look outside at the University of Florida. We have some showers over there by Century Tower, but we also just have those clouds lingering over our area. And also temperatures sitting around 74 degrees. We're going to start dropping into the evening. We're currently tracking this system, bringing those showers not only to the Gulf, but also to the Panhandle and a little bit here in Central Florida as well. So let's take a look. We see those yellow bands and also some red, and that's where we have those more severe, heavier showers where we can also expect a chance for some isolated to severe storms. Moving over, you can see around Perry, just that green, and that green is going to stay. That's more light showers, but here around Gainesville, we're a little bit more clear for right now and a little bit drier. But of course, as these showers make their way toward us, we'll start to get a little bit damper, especially due to all of that rain. Let's take a look at our temperature change. We're a little bit cooler, especially where we see that rain, but of course where it's drier, we are a little bit warmer as this continues to move. Our temperatures are sitting in the 70s and they're staying pretty mild across north central Florida as we continue to stay humid. So for this evening, grab a rain jacket as we're going to expect those showers to stay in our area, and it's just going to continue. But because of all of this humidity, we have above average lows. Let's take a look at that rainfall. It's a little bit heavier, a little bit more, especially around the Panhandle, but we're lighter here around Gainesville, only about an inch in our area for for this evening and into tomorrow. But take a look at our hour by hour. That rain is going to clear up by tomorrow afternoon, where we'll just see those cloudy skies overall. For your Wednesday, we have those temperatures sitting once again in the 70s and even the upper 70s, 79 for Gainesville. So definitely feeling warmer as we're watching the system move toward us. We're drying out. By Wednesday and into Thursday, we're getting some more of that drier air. But that cold front is not going to cool us down at all. It's just going to keep us dry. And if you take a look, we're actually warming up into the 80s. A chance for fog on Thursday, and then cloudy skies are going to continue to stay.
Coming up in sports, fans are already lining up outside of the Stephen C. O'Connell Center for the Florida Gators men's basketball team's regular season finale. See what the Gators have in store for their matchup against the Alabama Crimson Tide tonight and more after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
I'm Jack Meyer, here with your Tuesday afternoon sports roundup on the day. Starting off inside the Stephen C. O'Connell Center, the Florida Gators men's basketball team is looking to finish off its season in style tonight in a top 25 showdown against the Alabama Crimson Tide. As the fans begin to file into the O-Dome, WUFT's Reighan Sheppard is live with everything you need to know about tonight's game.
The last time these two teams saw each other marked an overtime loss for the Gators, so this is a game of redemption. With the SEC tournament coming up next Wednesday, a win could solidify the Gators as a top 6 seed, guaranteeing a first-round bye. Emotions aside, this is a vital game for the Gators, as they could set up for a favorable tournament season. In their first meeting, point guard Walter Clayton Jr. led both teams in scoring with 27 points, with Zion Pullen and Will Richard both contributing 17. A common obstacle for this Gator team is maintaining the lead they worked so hard to achieve. So, if they can protect their basket and hold off the Crimson Tide, that first round bye will be knocking right at that door. Tip-off is right here in the O-Dome at 7 p.m. Reporting live, I'm Reighan Sheppard, WUFT News.
The men's squad won't be the only Gators taken to the hardwood this week. Florida's women's basketball team is in Greenville, South Carolina for the 2024 SEC tournament. The Gators finished their regular season campaign with 14 wins and 14 losses. Florida struggled in conference play, tallying a 5-11 record against SEC opponents, but the team has had its fair share of bright spots as well. Senior guard Leilani Correa was named the SEC Sixth Woman of the Year and earned an all-conference second-team nod, while freshman guard Layla Reynolds secured a spot on the SEC's all-freshman team. The Gators will get to work right away in tournament play tomorrow, as they are slated to face off against the Missouri Tigers in round 1 at 1:30 p.m. Coming back down to Condren Ballpark, Florida baseball's matchup with the Florida Atlantic Owls that was previously scheduled for tonight has officially been postponed due to inclement weather. The matchup between the two Sunshine State squads has now been pushed back to April 30th. Even with this last-second postponement, Florida still has quite a busy week ahead of them. The Gators will face off against the UCF Knights tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. before hosting the St. Mary Gales in a three-game series this weekend. Staying on the diamond, this week will feature plenty of action in the world of high school baseball. Yesterday, the Oak Hall Eagles dismantled the St. Francis Catholic Wolves in a 15-0 run rule victory. Oak Hall second baseman Jackson Beach knocked out a pair of extra base hits and finished with 4 RBIs on the day. On the other side of town, the Hawthorne Hornets scored 18 runs in the first inning en route to a 20-3 victory over the Peniel Baptist Academy Warriors, while the Trenton Tigers came up just short in a 9-7 extra innings loss to the Lafayette Hornets. Tonight will feature plenty of primetime matchups across North Florida. First up, the Newberry Panthers will play host to the Brantford Buccaneers at 6 p.m. Later on in the evening, the PK Young Blue Wave will hit the road to take on the Santa Fe Raiders. And finally, the Trenton Tigers will get right back to the diamond tonight for a matchup with the Gainesville Hurricanes at 7 p.m. And finally, the Orlando Magic will hit the road tonight to take on the Charlotte Hornets, while the Miami Heat will stay home to host the Detroit Pistons. With the NBA playoffs right around the corner, it should be interesting to see which Florida squad comes out on top in the Southeast Division.
You know, it only feels intentional that on this March 5th, 305 day, the Miami Heat are playing at home.
You know, my favorite Miami story is that I met Mr. 305, Pitbull, in the 305.
Dale! Let's go over to what.
Well, you know, speaking of the Miami Heat, we still are feeling the heat, and we're also seeing that rain. We're going to get a band of showers, especially overnight, and then we'll see more drier weather coming up. And if you take a look at our 7-day outlook, we have fog for your Thursday, and then cloudy skies are going to continue to stay as we rise into the 80s.
Thanks, Julia. BBC World News is next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7.
Your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org. Have a great night.